Hi there, you're at the Solana Wyckoff session, so we'll go look at both daily and weekly time frames and see what's happening with Solana and why I said it's being hammered. So this candlesticks we're looking at, this inverted pin or inverted cross, is basically showing us this very long wick at the top, and that's why I said it's being hammered. And why at this very tip over here? What's this tip? If we look to the left, yeah, there were some activities over here back in February and also likewise November, but those are not the most key levels or key events. The most key event was actually here, the buying climax and selling secondary test, just second test to be simple, that happened back in March last year. So it's not this year, it was March last year that happened. If I draw a line from that point, you see it cut across the two points that I just talked about, and then eventually leading to where we see. So let me change it to, let's say, a green line so it's easier. So that was where it was. You see the wick of the buying climax, right? And then these candles were also like closing or opening somewhere around that point. So this is why we see this very crazy selling at that point when it reached around $205 all the way through the purple support line. So the purple support line was the automatic reaction level and also the second test level back in like March and July last year. This year, after the upthrust, oh actually not this year, it's December last year, sorry. So there was, this is not the AR, this was the sign of weakness, I would say. So that was somewhere near the automatic reaction and sign of weakness level. It's now currently being, or not being, isn't the bulls and bears basically are battling around this line. This was also where the candle closed last week at around $180. So if it fails to, you see the volume is really getting higher, so the selling force is high. So if the purple, if the price doesn't stay above the purple, then it will come down to test this yellow support line. That's roughly around the 160 range. It can go range bound if nothing really bad happens. It can go range bound for a few more weeks. If it finds support, then it may go up again to really get to the upthrust of the distribution, to show us that it can retest the level at around 290. But now it's still a little bit early to say, because if the market sentiments really change, what we have seen here is potentially another LPSY. I'll put a question mark here. Next week when we come back, we'll see whether the positive scenario that the price heads to a new test, new second test, or even an upwards of the distribution, that's the most positive scenario. Or is it going to come down to first test the yellow and eventually this bottom edge of the box? So this one is key, because if it falls outside of this box, that means, for one, it has fallen outside of this upward channel, and it will take longer time for it to really get to an upwards of the distribution if it really is going to that point. The second point is, besides falling outside of the box, it also formed a double head pattern. That's the second. Third is here. You see these, all these are forming this ascending triangles. If this is really the case, like over here, this ascending triangle, that bullish movement did happen, but it got rejected after it went too high. So hopefully if it trades sideways and get to this ascending triangle again by maybe end of next month, early September, hopefully it will break out to the upside again. So it will linger along the bottom edge or bottom half of this yellow box to get to a new high. That's again a positive scenario aside all those negatives. This is the big picture. All these, this LPSY as well as UOTAD, is still a question mark. All depends on how this further evolve. If we look at the lower level timeline at daily, previously we already put in the tag the buying climax is near, and indeed it has shown the buying climax, and then it's now getting to the automatic reaction. So the first support is this bottom edge of the upward channel. If it comes down either today or tomorrow, that's around the 172 to 174 range. If it really finds support and goes up for a second test, that's good, because here you see this upward triangle again, right? If according to textbook candlestick analysis, much like this upward triangle here, there was some upward price movements, some bullish actions. If it really happens the same, by hopefully next few days, it will come up and test this top edge of the channel again. That's, but then it will be similar height at around 205, 206 we have seen on Monday. So right now I'll extend this box, and if it really tests it, next week when we come back we'll be able to see whether it breaks outside of this ascending triangle and eventually test this high, or go even higher than this buying climax and show us an upthrust. So while we talk about it, let's put a mark here with a question mark. Would we see an upthrust? So if it really happens, perfect. Bad people will be happy. If it doesn't, it's still within the Wyckoff pattern. So that's for Solana for now. Today I'll add one more session.